So today we're talking about the power of positive feedback and how a simple app might actually be able to boost our well-being at work. I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, right? But what if the science actually backs it up? Let's dive in and see. So here's the big question we're tackling. Can an app really make you happier at work? I mean, it's a pretty bold claim, isn't it? An app that makes you more motivated, happier on the job? Well, a group of researchers actually decided to put this whole idea to the test. And what they found is pretty fascinating. All right, so section one, the wellness problem at work. Before we even get into the cool tech, we got to understand the problem it's trying to solve. And let's be real, workplace wellness, it's always been a tough nut to crack. You know, for decades, organizations have been pouring money into trying to improve employee well-being. But the results? They've been, well, kind of mixed. It's this huge ongoing challenge that really impacts everything, from a company's bottom line all the way to its very soul. Okay, so think about the traditional ways companies try to fix this. You've got these really expensive coaching sessions, intense training seminars, all these complicated tools. And look, they're great in theory, but they're super costly and they usually only reach a handful of people. They just don't scale. What we really need in today's world are solutions that are inexpensive, that you can roll out to everyone, and that actually work for the long haul. And that brings us to section two, a brand new idea called positive tech. This is where things get really interesting. It's this whole field that basically mashes up psychology and technology to build tools that are specifically designed to make our lives better, to make us happier and healthier. So what is positive technology? Well, at its core, it's a scientific approach. It's about using tech, like the apps on our phones, to actually improve the quality of our experiences and help us grow as people. You could almost think of it as technology with a soul. It's designed to help us thrive, not just survive. And hey, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. This is based on real science. In fact, a study published back in April 2022 in the Journal of Happiness Studies, which is a top-tier journal, by the way, put this whole concept to a really rigorous test. Let's look at exactly what they did. So the tool they used was an app, and the whole process is incredibly simple. Check this out. Step one, you see a coworker do something awesome. You write a quick anonymous note about it, just a short message. Step two, you tag that behavior with 1 to 3 character strengths, like creativity or teamwork. And then step three, your colleague gets this little piece of anonymous positive feedback. It helps them see their own strengths in action. That's it. Simple, right? They get a little boost and you've just made the whole vibe at work a tiny bit better. Okay, moving on to section 3, the 4-week experiment. The big question is, does this simple little app actually work? To find out, the researchers designed a really neat 4-week experiment. They recruited 164 people. And these weren't just students in a lab, these were full-time workers in Canada and France with real jobs, real deadlines, and real workplace stress. So this was a proper real-world test. Here's how they set it up. They split everyone into 2 groups. You had the experimental group, that was 112 employees who actively used the feedback app. Then you had the control group, 52 employees who just went about their work as usual, no app. And the key part, they surveyed both groups on all sorts of things before the 4 weeks started and then again right after. The goal was super clear, to see if using the app made a real measurable difference. All right, section 4, this is the moment of truth. What did the data reveal after 4 weeks? Did it actually work? Well, let me tell you, the results were, honestly, they were even better than the researchers expected. Okay, result number 1. The people using the app reported a significant increase in what's called need satisfaction. Basically, they felt more fulfilled. Now, we're going to dig into what those specific needs are in just a minute, but trust me, this is a huge deal. It's a foundational piece of our overall well-being. Result number 2 is all about motivation. The app users felt more autonomous motivation, and what that means is they felt that inner drive to do their work, not because a boss was telling them to, but because they genuinely found it interesting or important. They wanted to do it. And folks, that is the absolute holy grail of motivation. And result number 3? Well, it's the big one. Their overall well-being went up. The app users reported a real, measurable increase in their psychological well-being compared to the folks in the control group. Just think about that, in only 4 weeks. And last but not least, result number 4. The app did exactly what it was supposed to do. The intervention worked. It successfully encouraged employees to use their personal strengths more often at work. And when you get a whole team of people playing to their strengths, wow, that's a total game changer for any organization. Okay, so let's get into Section 5, the secret to well-being. The app clearly worked. The data is undeniable. But why, right? What's the secret sauce here? How can such a simple little feedback app be so darn powerful? Well, the why can be explained by this really powerful idea from psychology called self-determination theory. I know, it sounds a little academic and fancy, but the core idea is actually super simple. It just says that all of us humans have a few basic psychological needs, and when those needs are met, we thrive. We feel happy, motivated, and productive. So what are these core needs? There are 3 of them. First, there's autonomy. That's our need to feel like we're in the driver's seat of our own lives. Second is competence, the need to feel effective and that we're actually good at what we do. And third is relatedness, that fundamental need to feel connected to other people. Now, just think about it for a second. When you get a piece of positive feedback from a colleague, what happens? Boom. It directly hits your need for competence and your need for relatedness. It's a perfect match. And this is where it all comes together. This model from the study shows the whole chain reaction. It's like a beautiful, virtuous cycle. So, receiving that positive feedback from the app satisfied those core needs we just talked about. That feeling of satisfaction then fueled that awesome autonomous motivation. And that motivation, ultimately, is what led to higher well-being. See how it all connects? It's just this incredible positive domino effect. Which brings us to our final section, number 6, your takeaway. So what does all this mean for you, for me, for all of us? Because at the end of the day, this research isn't just about some app. It's really about the immense power of positive, strength-focused feedback. So let's break it down. For organizations, the message is clear. You don't have to spend a fortune on fancy programs. Simple, inexpensive tech tools can actually make a huge difference in your culture. For managers, this is a massive wake-up call. It highlights just how crucial it is to give feedback that reinforces what your people are good at. And for every single one of us as employees, it shows that focusing on strengths, not just our own, but our colleagues too, is a direct path to feeling better at work. You know, one of the most powerful points the researchers made is captured in this quote. It says that the real power of this kind of feedback is that it doesn't just impact the person who gets it, it influences the entire social environment. Think about that. When you give positive feedback, you're not just helping one person feel good, you're actually making the whole workplace better for everyone. It's a ripple effect, a total win-win. So let's wrap this up with one final question to think about. The science is crystal clear. Small, simple, genuine acts of recognition can have an outsized impact. So what's one strength you could recognize in a colleague, maybe even today? Who could you lift up? It's something to think about.